Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Samuel reporting, and welcome to episode 18 of my 2022 FIFA World Cup podcast, bringing you the latest updates on the 2022 World Cup for the final time. Following a classic World Cup final this morning, where Argentina have claimed their third ever title and broke a 36-year drought after they defeated France on penalties 4-2 following a 3-3 draw, as Montiel's penalty sealed the deal and sent Argentine players and fans wild. I am joined yet again on this podcast by my good mates Sam Savass, and joining us again Phil Lisovetski as we recap the 2022 World Cup final as well as we agree on what has been a wonderful World Cup. Boys, how are we today, and what a final we saw this morning?
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for having us, mate. The final was crazy. I didn't think it was going to be such high scoring action, but it was a bloody amazing game to watch.
Yeah, hey mate. Yeah, doing well, thanks. What a final. It was one of the best I've ever seen. Couldn't keep up with it all. It was just from start to finish a thrilling end and one to remember.
Absolutely. Are you guys happy with the result, and did the right team deserve to win in your opinions?
Absolutely, they did. Lionel Messi deserved that win.
Yeah, the team worked hard. It hasn't been a victory since '86, and they worked really hard from start to finish. And Messi, the GOAT of all champions, finally gets to lift the ultimate prize of winning the World Cup.
Absolutely. Agree with everything. In a recap of the final, it came down to a South American heavyweight and the previous champions of 2018, as both teams went out to win a third title, as France were on the hunt to defend their title. Lionel Messi opened the scoring from the penalty spot in the 23rd minute to give Argentina the perfect start. That lead was quickly doubled by Di Maria in the 36th minute as Argentina took a 2-0 halftime lead and looked to be cruising towards a third title. With the lead still at 2-0 with 12 minutes to play, what nobody possibly expected was for France to hit back. Kylian Mbappe pulled one back for France from the penalty spot in the 80th minute before scoring the most unlikely of equalisers with a second less than 2 minutes later, as France looked to be down and out, but due to Mbappe's heroics, fought back from the grave to send the game into extra time. In the 108th minute, Messi regained the lead for Argentina as his shot clearly crossed the goal line. Once again, it looked like Argentina had got themselves into a winning position before a handball in the penalty area gave France one last roll of the dice, as Mbappe completed his hat-trick with his penalty in the 118th minute, sending the World Cup final into penalties. Both Mbappe and Messi scored their first penalties. Coman's kick was denied before Dybala converted his penalty, giving Argentina the advantage. Chertomeni blasted his kick wide, and Paredes scored the goal to give Argentina match point and major advantage. Culo Miane had to score, and he managed to, as Montiel had the chance to win the World Cup for his country, which he grabbed with both hands, his goal ending a 36-year drought for Argentina, as France failed to defend their title. His goal sending South America into a frenzy. After their first World Cup game lost to Saudi Arabia, they were spurred on to become the best side in the competition and never once looked back. They have no doubt been the best side and fully deserved to win their first title since 1968. Boys, what an effort from Argentina. They have shown once and for all their might, and what a fairy tale for Lionel Messi to finally add a World Cup winner's medal to a decorated career.
Absolutely, it was a great win, great tournament from Argentina. I expected them to go all the way, and well, they did what was expected of them. They had high expectations. They followed through with them, and I've been hearing that Lionel Messi is not ready to retire, and he might go around again one more time.
Yeah, incredible performance by Argentina. Who would have thought they would get there? Incredible that they went on all the way and were able to beat the French defending champions with Lionel Messi scoring two incredible goals there.
Absolutely. They're fully deserved winners. Now, let's discuss some of the honourable mentions of the tournament. The Golden Boot went to Kylian Mbappe. With 8 goals, he was the top scorer at the 2022 World Cup, 3 of them in this year's final. He was almost the hero for France who came so close. Boys, can you please take me through your thoughts on Mbappe's performance this year's World Cup?
Absolutely crazy. I didn't expect that, to score firstly 2 goals in the dying stages of the game in the 80th and 81st minute, 2 goals in a minute, and then to score a crucial penalty to send it to penalties in extra time. I mean, the kid's only 23 years old. Like, he's so scary good, It's scary to think how good he's going to be in the next couple of years.
Yeah, well said. Couldn't agree more with you, mate. His goals that put him back on track to get into extra time was incredible. He definitely deserves the gold boot there for his goals scored throughout the tournament.
Absolutely. The golden ball went to Lionel Messi, a most wonderful performance from the hero of Argentine football. He capped it off with 2 goals in this year's final as he led his side to a World Cup championship. A fairy tale ending as he finally earned himself a World Cup winners' medal. Boys, what a tournament from Messi. He can now potentially retire from world football with the achievement he longed for in his illustrious career, should he choose to retire.
If he chooses to retire, I reckon he had a really good career because he did win a couple of Copa de American tournaments with Argentina as well, and he's won a lot of trophies with Barcelona as well. But if he does not retire, I mean, I think it's bloody amazing, and I reckon he could go around again if he really wanted to, but it depends how much his body will hold up, really, and go from there.
What an incredible, well-deserved winner. He's done it all now. He's gone from the Olympic hero to now winning a World Cup. I couldn't agree more. He's done it all now. What a champion.
Absolutely, fully deserved, and the whole world must be happy for him. The Golden Glove Award went to Emilio Martinez. The Argentine keeper earned himself the award along with the World Cup winners' medal, as his tremendous saves at this year's World Cup helped earn his side the victory. Boys, a well-deserved award for the Argentine stopper.
Absolutely, it was incredible.
Martinez, well done. He was really good around the tournament, saving so many crucial goals. Well deserved.
Absolutely. Finally, we should now look back on some of the tremendous efforts of certain teams this year's World Cup, whilst also recognising some of the underperformers. This World Cup will be remembered for its upsets, such as Argentina defeating Saudi Arabia in day 1, but most notably, a first ever last 4 appearance for an African nation, as Morocco defied odd after odd, winning a group featuring Croatia and Belgium, defeating Spain on penalties in the round of 16, 3-0 on penalties after a 0-0 draw, then defied even more odds to knock out Portugal 1-0 and earn a place in the last 4. Unfortunately, they couldn't defeat France. Becoming 4th place in the world is more than honourable for a side that nobody fancied. Boys, what did you make of Morocco's performance at this year's tournament?
Morocco went further than expected, as I previously said, and they were pretty unlucky to not make the final against France, but great effort from them, to be honest. So it was a really good effort from Morocco.
What an achievement. As you said, the South African nation going to ever a semi-final. Who would have thought? What an effort by them. They should be really pleased, and no one saw that coming.
Do you agree that they've won the hearts and minds of the people?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, and also what an effort from Japan to win a group featuring both Germany and Spain, defeating the both of them. They just were unfortunately not good enough to get past the round of 16, but who could have foreseen Japan winning a group featuring those two, including winning both games? The real dark horse story there. And, I mean, it just feels like with Japan making the last 16, a quarter-final appearance isn't far away now.
Yeah, I agree. And same with the Socceroos, they were so close, but pretty unlucky in the end. So, but with Japan, that was just an incredible story, to be honest. And they are one of the best Asian teams in the world, so I wasn't really surprised they made it to the final 16. But there's always the next World Cup. I'm sure they'll want to push themselves to do one step better.
This will give them a lot of confidence heading into next World Cup. That game against Spain, wow. Who would have thought they could do the impossible and beat the Spain champions of early on? And Japan deserve an outstanding ovation for the way they've performed.
Absolutely they do. Belgium and Germany both went out at the group stages. Both very disappointing outcomes for teams that were fancied to go all the way. Boys, what went wrong for them?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, just things didn't go to plan for Croatia and
Belgium.
Belgium. But nothing worked for them. I just don't think they may put in much effort considering they were world ranked number 2 in the world. But I think their ranking is going to drop dramatically because of their poor performance in the World Cup this year.
Yeah, and with Germany, they just couldn't get through the towards their group stage. They just heavily couldn't get through with drawing with Spain. That heavy loss to Costa Rica. I think they were just
Japan.
Underperforming in their group stages. And yeah, they've got a lot to learn heading into next World Cup.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, unfortunately, following their loss to Japan on day one, they were just never quite good enough. It was an effort to draw with Spain when heavily underdogged and also defeat Costa Rica, but with Japan defeating Spain on the last day, it just wasn't good enough for Germany. And to go out at consecutive World Cups after winning the World Cup in 2014, to go out consecutively at the group stage, I have to say, is just extremely disappointing. And we all hope that Germany are able to recover some form and go deep into the 2026 World Cup. Finally, so England and the Netherlands were both fancied to go all the way, but they were both eliminated at the quarterfinal stages, letting down their fans yet again. I mean, the Netherlands still no World Cup to show, along with Spain, who were also eliminated at the round of 16. Boys, these sides were not good enough at a tournament yet again. What's it going to take for these nations to turn around their fortunes?
Honestly, they just need to play more better attacking football, and for England, they need to bring in better defenders, I reckon, and play better. England had a few good games, but the way they were exited out of the World Cup was just very disappointing.
Yeah, they should have been in France in that quarter-final. Harry had the shot and missed in an absolute blunder. He's got to stay composed at that level. And England's a professional football club, and the way they let their fans down in that match was quite disappointing.
Yeah, as for the Netherlands as well, going out to Argentina in the quarterfinals by the penalty shootout, just like in the semi-finals of 2014. I mean, Argentina just, they seem to be the Netherlands hoodoo side, and England not good enough yet again. Harry Kane wasted opportunities. And as for Spain, a real disappointment getting knocked out 2 consecutive tournaments in a row from the penalty shootout, as they did to Russia, the hosts in 2018, and even more surprisingly, Morocco at this year's World Cup. So I think it's going to take a lot of effort for these sides to turn their fortunes around, but they simply must, because to see England and the Netherlands out in the last 8 and Spain out in the last 16 simply just isn't good enough for what's expected of those nations. Agreed, boys?
Agreed, definitely.
Finally, can you tell me about the players that impressed you the most at this year's World Cup, as well as mention the award winners?
Definitely Kylian Mbappe. He was really good. And Marcus Rashford stepped up a lot for England as well. But Craig Goodwin and Matthew Leckie do deserve more credit as well. So for the Socceroos, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely some of those Australian players. Wow, Leckie, the way he scored that goal against Denmark was incredible. Matt Ryan with his saves in the tournament. And, of course, no doubt, Messi just absolutely killing it all. Going all the way to becoming this champion, GOAT of all time.
Yes, and it was certainly a disappointing last tournament for Cristiano Ronaldo, as Portugal failed to make it anywhere near the final, going out in the quarter-final stage shockingly to Morocco.
Agreed.
And that concludes episode 18 of my 2022 FIFA World Cup podcast. Boys, thanks so much for your time, and what a wonderful World Cup we saw.
Absolutely, it was a great World Cup. Better than expected, but, I'm very honoured to be part of your podcast, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure watching it and going to the live bars with you and celebrating hard and seeing Argentina take home the cup.
Absolutely it was. And Sam, you were a regular guest on this podcast. Thanks so much for your help throughout the tournament.
My pleasure, mate. It was an honour.
Not a worry, and I look forward to future podcasts with you throughout more soccer tournaments in the future.
Definitely.
Thanks so much for everyone for joining me on my journey to bring you the latest news throughout the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Congratulations to Lionel Messi, who gained the ultimate achievement of a World Cup winner's medal. Congratulations to Argentina on a third title. There is no doubt they are deserved winners. We can't wait to see what America, Canada and Mexico will bring in 2026. But for now, it's been the greatest pleasure to bring you updates on what was without question one of the great World Cups of all time, capped off by a final to be remembered for all ages. Thanks to everyone who tuned into my podcast throughout the 2022 World Cup, and thanks for being part of my FIFA World Cup journey.